Parshas Vayera finds Abraham having just recovered from his circumcision, sitting out front of the tent, and famously, and this is famous, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper if possible, that God visits Abraham to check out how he's doing, and in the middle of talking to God, so to speak, not so to speak, like practically speaking, talking to God, he says, hang on one second, and he runs to go see these guests, and he goes and he throws this big feast for the guests. Now, there's a bunch of different levels of what that represents. Primarily that it's unusual, we would expect, that if a person was talking to God, right, it's sort of like all roads lead back to God, right? So if like you're already doing the thing that you're trying to do, how does like nailing another mitzvah help you if the whole idea is getting close to God? So perhaps we would take a slight departure, which is that Abraham had a certain intuition about his own path. And that path was something that compelled him. And it's really fascinating because you see that. We see before that, he's sitting outside the heat, in the heat of the day after his circumcision. And the deeper commentators explain that we think that chesed, we think that kindness is something that we do when someone has need. Oh, you stubbed your toe, I'll get you a Band-Aid, or whatever the equivalent might be. Chesed, Abraham, he was looking for opportunities. So he was actually preempting the need. He was compelled by the need to give. So it's very interesting because so often, especially nowadays, especially, again, and watch how awesome that was that I didn't even start this conversation. Again, this is no longer evergreen, right? That, oh, I hope we're all surviving out there in the stress of the election. Like, get over it already. Like, what can you do? Oh, that's offensive. I apologize. I know it's okay. But at the end of the day, what's truly profound in my mind is what compels you on the inside? What drives you forward? What are the things that you feel like you are compelled to do no matter how high you are? That's a certain concept. We think in a great sense, or at least I think, and I have this perception that if I would reach a certain place, if I'd have a certain amount of impact, whatever it might be, so suddenly I would feel fine, I would feel good, I would feel great. And it's like, nope, that's not it. What you're doing, the impact you're having, that's one thing. But what compels you on the inside, that has nothing to do with it. So even though Abraham had reached, so to speak, this pinnacle of service to God, he was still driven to go after his core mission that he had so clearly for himself. And again, as we look around outside, now I did it, right? As we look around outside and we see there's so much insecurity, there's so much uncertainty, there's so much disappointment, there's so much rage and anger and blaming and this and that and all it is. And everyone's like, are you okay? Are we holding up okay? First of all, like, are you being safe? Now, are you not so stressed out? How are you surviving these plug into yourself, please, and find the thing that matters to you and go after that. Because if you have that, right, for Abraham, you wouldn't stop. And you create your outcome, not the other way around. Chavis.